And making the transition, Shane's Rib Shack for a Thursday. Basketball in Focus. Coach Stewart with us from Caldwell Academy. Had the close of the season today, but it's tough when you got those 10 a.m. Usually if you're in a tournament, and maybe it's the last day of the tournament, you're playing that 10 a.m. game, maybe in a consolation, but you're playing a quarterfinal game. 10 a.m. this morning playing the number 1 seed, Davidson Day. Tough way to end it, but again, I mean, you battled all year long, but again, you play the number 1 seed, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it was. It was a great year. We had a wonderful year this year at Caldwell with 20 wins and 7 losses. Battled through a lot of injuries. Peyton Cadillac, as you know, went down in the 6th game of the season with the torn ACL, so that really hurt us. But the team stepped up, came together, became a family, and you know, I'm very, very proud of the girls.
In some ways, you may have exceeded expectations this year. After the injury, I mean, everything changes then.
Yeah, it did. I mean, we went through a lot this year where we played 5 games with 5 players.
Wow.
Megan had a strained MCL. Hannah had a concussion, was out for 6 games. Peyton tore an ACL, and then we had Ty was out for about 4 games. So the girls really stepped up, and I was very, very proud of them.
So some games you were playing with 5 girls.
5 girls. We played 5 games with 5 girls this year.
Just 5 dressed, or just
5 girls. That was it.
Wow.
So, and actually we won 4 or 5 of them.
That's amazing. I haven't seen that or heard that in a lot. That sounds like going back to Indiana back when they had Hoosiers for the girls, when the girls first started. 5 games with just 5 girls dressed.
It was. But
wow. Did you ever play end of games with 4 girls?
We ended 1 game with 4 girls.
Did you win that game?
We did win that game. We were in control of that game by about 20-some points. So, and I think it was the last 40 seconds or so.
Wow, not too long then.
No,
but,
not
just
long.
Protect the game and finish it out. A lot of it. You learned a lot this year.
We did. I think the girls did it. You know, I didn't do it. The girls did it.
20 wins and playing a fourth of those games with just 5 girls.
Absolutely.
Man, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
How do you get that feeder program to resource you a little bit better for the future?
Well, you know, it's difficult. We don't have a JV team, so
no JV team.
There's no JV team at Caldwell. There's only a dialectic team, which is a middle school team. So what you've really got to do is you've got to feed those girls in through the varsity system. You know, the best way to do that, obviously, is get the dialectic coach on the same page as the varsity coach, and that way you're able to go ahead and make sure that they can compete.
How do you run that practice when you got 5 girls that are healthy? That can you get 3 coaches, probably you and 2 assistants, maybe get a few other kids, and
you know, a lot of the things that we did this year, we didn't do a whole lot of 5-on-5. We basically ran through our sets, which a lot of these girls have done for the past 4 years, so they get it. They understand. They understand the importance of doing everything full speed. They understand that just because you don't have defense on you in practice, you still got to go full speed, because in the game it's going to be a different story. So.
Well, we talk about injury. You had injuries this year, not just one, but several injuries throughout the year. So when but you did win the conference tournament. You won that again too, right?
No, we actually did not win the conference tournament. We lost to the Burlington school by about 8 points. They were a very good team this year, and you know, as well we were too. But again, like I said, very, very much so injury prone this year. So we did not win the conference this year. We got second in the conference. But what Caldwell did do is go to the second round of the state playoffs, which is the first time in history.
That's amazing. I would ask you about that later questions. This is the furthest the team has been.
This is the furthest this team has been in Caldwell history.
Not bad at all. You won the first round game. Had not always trying to go to that first round pump, but you got past that this year.
Yeah.
But if you would have had Peyton, what do you think might have happened? Who knows then? Because you would have been a different seeded team. You would not been seeded in the A spot, that's for sure. Would have been a different scenario there then.
Completely agree. So, you know, with Peyton, I do think that we could have possibly gotten maybe a 6th seed, which I think would have made it even a little bit easier to have maybe in the second round. That 8 seed's a tough spot just because you're in that 8-9 slot, which it's a sticky situation because that's the home game versus the away game. So we were able to, and very fortunate to be able to land the 8 seed, which was the home game. However, you know, after you win that game, then you're stuck up against the number 1 seed, which was Davidson Day, and they're a fantastic team.
I was mentioning, I think, on the website that if you're playing Davidson Day or Providence Day in the first round, it's going to be a long day.
It is. It is.
You look at both your scores. Your score, Greensboro Day School score, tells you the same story.
Yeah, they're a phenomenal team. I'm not going to take anything from them. They're great. I think our girls worked hard, and I couldn't have been more proud of them. I really thought that they did a wonderful job today. They worked, they fought from start to finish, and that's all I ask of them. So they did a great job.
How much time do they get off now?
Well, now they're out for a little while.
Yeah,
So
a little bit of break now.
Coach needs a break.
How many seniors on this team?
We had 5 seniors on this team.
Wow.
So Hannah Hauser's a senior, Megan Speckman, Tressa Reese, Rachel Bowden, and I think those were all, well, let's see, we had another senior there. But I think we had 5 seniors on
That's
that
some
team.
rebuilding to do then.
There's a whole lot of rebuilding to do.
Wow.
There's only 4 returners, so.
Did you get 20 wins last year or came close?
We did. We had 23 wins last year.
So you've been a 20-win team now for a couple of years. That's a good thing, too.
Yeah, over the last 2 years, that'd be then over the last 2 years, meaning this year and last year, that's 43 wins and 14 losses.
Not bad at all. It's
not too bad.
Almost rivaling that of Northwest Guilford's women. Just not quite as close, but getting in
Yeah.
that same neighborhood, that same territory.
We're trying, and we've continued to try from when I started with this program 4 years ago to
Give
build
me the
a
record of
program.
the team the year before you took over. What was the team record the year before you took over that school?
The year before I took over, I'm not exactly sure what the record was, but I know it was way under 500.
Yeah.
So it was definitely not even a 500 team. I think
Come
it was
a
probably
long,
about a
long way
250.
with this team.
Yeah,
And not
so it's
done yet, right?
Right.
You
And
still
that-
feel good about the future.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They're going to do wonderful, and there's going to be a lot of great things to come. So,
How about this team you're with, the Triad All-Stars? Tell us about that team. 'Cause that's been one of the hot topics on the website this week, the Triad All-Stars and the Triad All-Star. You're the head coach of the East team. You were either the assistant or the head coach last year, too, right?
yes, I was the head coach
Also,
of it last
so
year.
you've been
as
with these
well.
guys 2 years. Tell us about the Triad All-Star team. What is it about this? Because Hannah's on this team.
Yeah.
She'll be playing. You got, let's see, you got Kara Harrison, you got Haley Barber, you got Morgan Pointer, you got the 2 girls, not 2 girls from East Davis are on the
Yeah.
other team, but you got a lot of local girls on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You got 2 Northern Guilford, Zamaya Clayton,
Yeah.
you got Lasha Satan.
Yes.
Lasha Satan, too.
Yes.
Tell us about this. We need to know.
Well,
Who
there's
runs this show? Where did this Triad All-Star game come from?
Keyshawn Bishop actually runs this.
Keyshawn Bishop, okay.
And he coached at Caldwell, not this year, but last year.
Was he a
for the
men's coach
boys.
or women's
He was
coach?
the men's coach.
Gotcha. Okay.
He was the men's
Okay.
coach there last year. He actually asked me if I'd be interested in coaching it last year. I said yes. It was great. This year will be extra special because it'll give me one last opportunity to coach Hannah Hauser.
1,000-point scorer too this year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Who's actually played for me now for 4 years. So this year will be special. I think we've got a strong group of kids. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun last year, but I think it'll be more fun this year.
So Keyshawn Bishop is the main man.
Yes.
If we want to find out what's going on, we go to the Bishop.
Yes.
Find out the story. How did this all come about? The Triad All-Star Games. How did this get started?
You know, I'm not sure how it actually got started. I've only known about it for the last couple of years. And then when he had approached me and asked me if I would be interested in coaching the East team, of course I said yes with honors.
I know they've got a Twitter site. I read about them on Twitter. They don't have a web page, all right?
They do not have a web page. It's just on Twitter. Everything's
Does
posted on
Keyshawn
Twitter.
Bishop, does he have a basketball academy too or anything like that now?
He does. It's called Blue Chips.
I saw that
Yeah.
also among
So
some of my surfing around, saw that
Yes,
as well.
yes, he's got a basketball academy as well. He's very knowledgeable in basketball.
And that's a teaching
Excellent.
facility there.
Yes.
Keyshawn Bishop.
He is an excellent basketball coach and basketball trainer. So I know he's got a son that plays at the college level as well.
Not bad at all. And he's based out of Forsyth County, I guess?
Yes,
Because it
yes.
seems like it kind of leans toward Forsyth County as far as the location at Walkertown, those type things.
Right. Last year it was at Forsyth Country Day
Okay, I
School.
thought it'd been there before, too.
And this year it'll be at the Walkertown High School. So
Right.
of course it'll be a different
Sunday
location.
afternoon, March 20th.
March 20th.
Got
The girls
the-
play at 3.
Girls at 3 and the boys, there's a slam dunk contest too, right?
There's a slam dunk contest in between the girls and the boys.
You got about 4 guys off Wesley, and I saw you've got Quay Parker, you got Jalen Johnson, you got Michael Buckland, and one other Wesleyan player.
Right.
So pretty well loaded from there too.
Right.
Then.
Yeah, they'll be loaded. So
And I saw we had our guest last week, but they're not. Guy Shavers with us last week. He's going to be the East boys coach.
yes, he is. He's a very good coach as well. I know Guy Shavers very well and been around for a while.
Do you know where all the proceeds and things like that go to from the game? Any idea about that? Does it go toward scholarships or something like that?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
We'll
So,
find out more as time goes on. We do know Keyshawn Bishop. The Bishop is the man. It
He
kind of
is.
makes the wheels turn for the Triad All-Star Games. Well, there was a lot of talk about that on the website this week, and I guess from the Northwest standpoint, they felt like we should have had more players on this team.
Right. Well, they've got a
got two
few
pretty good
players
ones.
on that team. So I look forward to it, and I think it's going to be a great outing. I think it's going to be very fun. and I think the girls are going to do great.
I kind of like the idea of the fact you got 2 from that one team. That gives you a chance to have more players from more teams as well.
Right. You know, the point in this, too, is making sure that some of these girls
How do they go about selecting the players? I know I had a question in here. How do they go about selecting the players, you know?
Well, it's basically through the coaches.
Coaches, they nominate players?
The coaches nominate players.
The people on the board come by and watch them play?
Correct.
Yeah, and then
Keyshawn and them, or whoever the board is, will actually select the players that actually make the team. So these girls have all made this team on their own.
Absolutely.
With no help from anybody else.
Gotcha. And I'm trying to remember all the players. I think we mentioned most of the players involved there. I think, is Kalina Morris on there?
Yes, Kalina Morris is on the team as well. So
if I was an
several.
NBA scout, I'd say, Kalina, if we still had the ABA, you'd be playing power forward for my team in the ABA.
I mean, like I said, you know.
You're going to enjoy coaching her. I think Kalina Morris, I think she could probably learn something about basketball every day. She's still a huge diamond in the rough.
Absolutely.
Her game is still developing.
Absolutely.
Man.
She's got the potential to be a very good basketball player,
She does.
even at the next level.
I think maybe, I talk about her a lot on these basketball broadcasts. No disrespect, I think she'll lose a few pounds, she'll drop a few pounds, she gets a little bit more in college, works harder, probably hit that weight room.
Right.
Gosh, and the footwork's coming along. You can tell Coach McNeil's worked on her footwork, her drop step, her overall footwork. And she's got to also work to get away from putting that ball on the floor every time she goes up. Because those players eventually going to go down and take that ball from her. But boy, in games where there's not much opposition in the post, she can dominate. I didn't say it out loud, but I said to myself, like, she can score 100 points, get 100 rebounds in one game. Yeah. She's just that big. Against some teams, don't have a post player.
Yeah. She's like I said, she's a very strong player. She's got a lot of upside and a lot of potential in the future.
Kiera Harris is just the opposite. She's a different type of player completely. Just love watching Kiera play. She just glides up down the court, jumps up in the air, got that release, all those things.
Yeah. And, you know, like I said, with this East team here that I'm coaching, it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, like I said, it'll be very interesting to coach a lot of these different
How did it turn out last year? The East coach last year. Your girls win last year.
Last year, no, the West won 66-60.
Wow, good ball game.
It was a great ball game. You know, we played everyone. The West team, they played about 6 or 7, but you know, there's about 12 kids selected on each team, and we did play everyone.
That's a good thing.
We played everyone because some of them it's their last look and it's their last hurrah.
And there's no need to go to the All-Star game if you don't get. It's like the baseball All-Star game. They put those guys in at least for a little while.
Yeah. So
why select them if you don't get a chance?
Exactly. So that's exactly what I said.
If it was that case, you just. Here's our all-star team, and you put it in print, and you don't even have a game. If you have a game, you want to play, right? But the West team is mainly teams kind of the west of the Kernersville area on that way.
Correct. From Kernersville West will be the West. From Kernersville East will be the East. So I look forward to it.
There's a nice little line drawn across to get East Davidson on that West team, right?
Yes, there is. There is. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So we'll see. Deja Cousins is on our East
team. Team out of the Burlington
and
School.
she's a very strong player.
Good ball player.
You know, Hannah Hauser, obviously, of course. You know, I've had her now for 4 years, and she's going to sign with Randolph-Macon.
That's a good school to go to. Yep, and she'll play there.
She will play basketball for Randolph-Macon in the fall. And on February 24th, she actually has her signing in front of the school at Caldwell.
That's a good thing, too.
Look forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun.
And you think about the girl over at East Davidson. It's Bailey Plummer, because they've got a couple of Haleys, they've got a couple of Baileys, got all these names, but the Bailey Plummer, that's one of the better players I think I've seen this year.
She probably will be. She will be one of the better players, and she'll definitely probably be one of the better players on the West team.
She's got that nice reverse. Some girls don't have the reverse in her arsenal, but she has got that, and you can tell she's been breaking the game down for a long time the way she plays.
Right. Yeah. But you can tell on a lot of these players the way they've been coached or the way they've been brought up on the basketball scene. You know, there's now these days, the biggest thing for these girls is to be able to play within a team environment and to play within a system.
And the more games you play like this one, the better off you usually are.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what colleges are looking for. They're not really looking for the ones that can just run and gun. They're who can play their role inside of a system.
How much opportunity you get to work with the players before the game? How many meetings you have back, things like that you have, or you just meet the day of the game and play?
No, we actually, the day before the game, we'll have a practice for about an hour and a half. I think we get about an hour and a half, and that gives us an opportunity to get to know and meet all of the kids and kind of know where they stand and what positions and different things that they play. Then we're able to also put in a few plays just so they have some sort of structure around the game instead of just running up and down the floor like you see a lot of times in the AAU circuit.
So many times. And from your standpoint, do you track some of the girls now, the rest of their high school finishing up season, kind of keep an eye on the girls now?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And like I said, with our season just now ending, And you've still got some other seasons that'll go for another week and a half, or whatever the case is. But in the private school sector, we've just now ended today. Bittersweet.
Tell you one thing good, though, and I like this in the coaching, because you're going to be there about 10 more years. Today, your team actually went the furthest they've ever gone.
Absolutely.
You got past that opening round hump and made it to the quarterfinals. I mean, to me, that's a step in the right direction.
It is. Like I said, there's been so much success with this group of girls. They bought into the system. They bought into us as coaches. I remember the first day going up there and just meeting them at lunch, saying, "Hey, I'm your new basketball coach," and they bought into it from day one. So that's made my life a little bit easier. It's made my job a lot easier.
How many years you been in it? 4 years?
This is my 4th year.
4 years.
Yeah, this is my 4th year.
It's a good run so far. Very good run.
It's been a fun run.
And you still think about how far the team could have possibly gone if Peyton would have been available, and you wouldn't have been playing at 10 o'clock in the morning either.
Yeah.
That's tough, because you got to work 3 hours prior to the game just to get up, get ready, get travel, all those things. Well,
Yeah.
you just don't jump out of bed and play at 10. You got a lot to do to get there to get the game started.
That's right.
Not easy.
And like I said, to just take it back from when it first started. I mean, playing in that first game on Tuesday night against Christ the King, they were a very good team. Our girls played out of their minds. They played wonderfully. They played like there was no tomorrow, like we've always told them. Play like there's no tomorrow. Leave it all on the floor. There's so many kids out there, including Peyton on our team,
How did
that
she
had a torn ACL that would love to play.
How did she stay involved with the team? Did she come to a lot of the games? Got to stay with you guys around the bench? Stay with you?
Peyton stayed with us. She came to practices. She came to the games. She was there this morning. She's been very good from the bench as far as cheering and keeping the girls upbeat, keeping them up tempo, which is I'm extremely proud of her for that, because I know that's tough being a 2-year player scoring over 1,200 points in 2 years, which is phenomenal and amazing, and to go down with a torn ACL her freshman year and her senior year.
This came at the start of the season this year, too, didn't
it? It did. It came in the 6th game of the season.
6th game of the year.
So it was actually our 2nd conference game of the season. She went down about the first 3 minutes of the game against Burlington Christian. So we were able to still win that game. It was a tougher win just because everybody's wondering what happened.
Oh, yeah,
what's wrong with Peyton? Is Peyton okay?
Yeah.
But the girls really rallied together and came together as a family, and sometimes those are things that happen, and it can happen to anybody. So the best thing you can do is stay together.
Happens to the best players at every level.
Absolutely.
Here's one of these outside-the-box questions. Have the Burlington schoolboys lost yet?
No, they have not.
I think they lost.
I think last time I looked, they were about 34-0.
Crazy team.
So
crazy team.
They're an amazing team.
Yeah, that's kind of the team people aren't really aware of in some ways.
Well, you have a lot of schools like that we're in a little bit of a different category. We do not recruit. Caldwell Academy does not recruit. I know there are schools out there that do.
If you would have been recruiting, you would have had, instead of playing 5 games with just 5 players, you would have had some more players out there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. So, it's a different level, but like I've told my girls time and time again,
it means more.
It means more to win those kind of games, and at least to be competitive in those kind of games, to coach what you have versus coaching a store-bought team is what I like to call it.
Yeah, because it means some more when a kid comes all the way up through grade school to the high school. They come all the way through the ranks. It means a ton more.
And these girls have gotten so much better from start to finish. My freshman year, I had their freshman year, my first year coaching there, I had girls that couldn't even make a layup. And now they're making layups. They're making shots. They're making left-handed layups. They're making good passes. They've learned the game. Some of them were already good players, but now they've developed into even better players, great players. So I think they've learned a lot throughout their years at Caldwell. And just in playing basketball.
Well, talk about Hannah and Megan Speckman, what they mean to your team.
Hannah and Megan, they mean a lot to the team, as do the rest of them. We couldn't have done it without anybody on this team, being short-staffed and short-handed as we were. Hannah Hauser's always been the three-point catalyst for me. There's no doubt about it. She went down with a concussion. Megan stepped up and started doing some scoring like I expected her to do, which was great. Megan had a lot better scoring year this year, and she handled the ball very well, and she took control when needed to be. Hannah she's a tough player. She grinds out and she goes hard from start
Kind of
to
became
finish.
the backbone of the team, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah.
She definitely did. And don't get me wrong, she's going to go hard, and she's going to get in your face, and she's going to talk junk, and there's going to be a lot of junk talk spoken to her. But I like that as a coach. I like a competitive player. I like tough players. And that's what our goal is, Trey Hauser, myself, and Tremaine, to do for these girls is to make them tough. There's a whole lot out there that a lot of people don't see.
You have to be.
And if you're not tough, you can't play basketball.
It's just like the Northwest Guilford girls. They've got to get tough when they face those teams with Charlotte. Those Charlotte teams come in. The Charlotte girls, Myers Park last year, that was a tough bunch.
That's right.
Rugged tough. They just played aggressive, tough, physical basketball.
That's
And you can't get popped one time and go, man, what is this all about? Hey, you got to be a part of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have discussed that with the girls time and time again, and I do honestly continue to think that they're getting tougher and tougher and tougher. We started off very soft, and we told them up front, point blank, if you want to play basketball at this level, you've got to be tough. You can't worry about the foul calls. You can't worry about you didn't touch them. You can't worry about that stuff. You just have to play through it and play basketball. We're not saying that you have to do anything outside of the way, out of the way.
Right.
But you've got to play basketball. You've got to understand that you're going to get bumped. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get pushed. You're going to get your hair pulled. You're going to get all that kind of stuff. If you want to play, you have to play.
There's a lot of hand contact, hand action out there the refs never see, and you can't be looking around. When are you going to call something? And as coaches, you know as a coach well, too, the hard about coaching is, let's don't worry about the play that happened 3 minutes ago. Let's worry about what's going on. Now, we got to forget that play. He didn't call it. We got to get going down here because they're playing right now. They're not playing in the past.
That's right.
Tough. That's tough.
You're exactly right. We've tried to teach the girls, and I think we have done a good job teaching the girls. Hey, score the bucket, get back on defense. A point is nice, but get back on defense. And they've done a good job. For the most part, they have done a really, really good job. And like I said, today, obviously nobody likes to lose. But I'll tell you, in my opinion, we lost to the team that I think has a very good shot to be the state champions.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So.
And you always send those girls to, like you say, get back and turn around, see what's going on.
That's right.
Back to the ball, get back on defense. Got to see that ball.
That's right. That's right. So, again, it's been a wonderful rodeo. It's been a wonderful ride. Very proud of the girls. So, it's bittersweet to see the seniors graduate.
Yeah. One more game with Hannah, right?
One more game with Hannah.
Going in, does she start?
She's going to have to work hard that day before she wants to start. But,
she's got a good shot.
She's got a shot just like everybody else.
With Hannah and Haley in the backcourt. How about that?
That'd be a great backcourt. That'd be a phenomenal backcourt. So we're looking forward to it.
Coach, good job as always.
Hey,
Congratulations on a good year and good work and playing 5 players in 5 games. That's tough, and you guys got the job done.